It's okay. We're all here now. You know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of fingers, I finally embraced my full super trucker, and I cut a pair of mechanics gloves to be slightly fingerless gloves.
Nice.
Well, you get
Right.
your hands get a little less after a full day of driving, you get a little slippery on the wheel, shall we say? The gloves help.
No, let's not say that. Let's start this thing instead.
Okay. You start it.
Welcome to another episode of Drinking the Maestro.
Well, hey, Maestro!
I got your message about renting the horse again. So
Oh yeah. The horse is back. Unfortunately, hopefully it'll be a brief horsing instead of a whole episode.
Well, we'll be horsing around. But are you
done telling
us? Are we done telling us? Are you done telling us about your trucker gloves?
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Those are for me.
With your radar loves, with your was it some kind of hands on the wheel? What's that Golden Earring song, right? Radar love.
Golden Earring. It's radar
hands.
Love. I've been driving all night, my hands wet on the wheel.
Yeah, but that's about speeding and being in love with going fast. The whole stuff that has the name of the song.
I had to look it up. I didn't want to get another high horse admonishment.
Yeah, you don't want to get kicked off the high horse again. It was a painful fall last week. We don't, you're still recovering.
Yes. And she sends a cable coming in from above. Don't need no phone at all. Yeah. Yes. I don't need no phone. No. None of that. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. Actually, that's a cool driving song.
This week. It is a cool driving song. It's one of my top 10 driving songs.
Right. So since now you got your trucker gloves, the fingers cut out, your hands are wet on the wheel, and you're going to tell us about why you need it. Why this time I did get the collision damage waiver on the high horse,
that's good. So. In case I get knocked off the high horse.
I wasn't sure where you might be going, so
So I get because you sparked something. I was reviewing the audio from last week, and it sparked something in my head of we were talking about those Canadian renovation shows, and that reminded me of the Canadian home buying shows.
Lump It or whatever.
Right, Love It or List It, or there's a couple others. They're all along the same vine.
Oh, you can't say the name. Discovery Channel doesn't like getting.
Is that Discovery Channel? That wasn't Discovery Channel. That was HGV, which I guess that is the Discovery umbrella.
Yeah, they're all Discovery Channel.
Well,
that's how you know they're
fake.
For them. Discovery Channel. I'm watching some documentary and it's like that doesn't sound right. And then you look over, Discovery Channel.
Okay, hang on. We're taking the horse in a different direction here. That we'll circle back around to that because I got a whole thing about the History Channel to come after this, which is also a Discovery partner. Okay. But so there's something about those home buying shows that always bothered me, even when I was younger. Before I was like knew anything about the home market, or there's like. It's the couple. The couple's always like, I'm a school teacher, and my husband makes artistic taxidermy on the side, and we're looking for a 2.4. Where our budget is $3 million, and it's like, in what world does a school teacher and a part-time taxidermist have a $3 million budget for a home?
Right.
I'm a full-time truck driver, and I couldn't have a $3 million budget for a house. Are you kidding me?
Well, you're right.
So,
of course, those are Canadian dollars, eh?
Well, right. So, at the time, who knows what the conversion rate was. But, and then, of course, they're the pickiest people on the planet. Well, we don't want to live too far from the school district because I don't want to have to commute more than 20 minutes. But he needs to live close to downtown because that's where he does his taxidermy for whatever reason.
Sounds like you need to split up.
Right. It sounds like you guys need a divorce. Or something. I don't know. But we also need an extra room for entertaining. Who are you entertaining with that freaky stuffed dog you got in the living room? Like, come on.
And it's got to be open concept.
Right. Everything had to be open concept. Don't get me started on the open concept. Holy crap.
Go to LA. There's lots of open concept homes that you can pick up cheap right now.
Not anymore. No, they're open. They're open. Yeah, they're real open concept because it's just a foundation.
That's right. It's and a fireplace. It's the ultimate open concept.
Right. It's real. It's true open concept. It's a concrete pad and a brick fireplace, and that's it.
And if you get a little spendy, you could probably find one that still has a brick facade. No, the gate around the property around. Yeah, a brick fence. Around the property. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right. But that's another. Since we're in the home economics section of the high horsing. This other thing I hate is open concept homes. What a brain dead way to design a place you're going to spend a majority of your life if you're intending to keep it, right? And you're not some home flipper. I don't know who decided that open concept was the way we were going to go. There's no storage. There's nowhere to put anything. You've got
it's open.
You walk in the front door and I can see all the way to the back wall of the house. It's why.
I can tell you why. It's
more living space. Open and airy?
More living space and less square feet. It was started when
you just end up filling it with furniture.
Right, but then you can alter the feng shui as the moon changes you.
Get your feng shui right here. Our house, the house that I live in, has been set up the same way for probably over a decade at this point, and it isn't going to change much now that I own it.
Right, but there's no woman involved in the equation, so
It's true. If it was up to me, it'd be a lawn chair and a TV on a stand in an empty room, and I'd be fine.
It just illustrates how things come full circle. We started with a one-room log cabin, and that's what we're going back to.
Yeah, apparently. Well, but you need the upstairs for the kids, and you don't forget that room for entertaining. You got to have the separate dining entertaining room thing.
Well, they got to have a guest room, and the dining living area has to be big enough for entertaining.
Right,
with the guest and a guest
rec room, or as they called it in the 70s, the rumpus room. Which whatever.
Well, there was rumpus in the 70s.
There's a lot of rumpusing.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get the open concept. I prefer to have things like built-in shelves. And
that was a grumpy old man.
It's me. I'm the grumpy old man. I have a lot of knickknacks. I like to display, and charcuterie. I want to display.
You gotta remember the knickknacks. Well, as long as there's room for charcuterie, you're okay. You gotta close the blinds for the rumpus.
For the rumpusing, yes. No, that's the Krampus. It's a different thing.
Okay.
So now we're gonna lead the high horse onto the history channel here.
Circle the drain now.
Maybe. I had an energy drink earlier. I'm full of energy. It's weird.
It doesn't show.
No, I'm not manic.
I know you're out there running around. You're rumpusing. You're cutting the fingers off your gloves. I mean, it's just like, wow,
it's crazy. I'm actually running next to my truck. I got a string just tied to the steering wheel.
Yeah, something to do. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you got to burn off all this extra energy I got.
Right.
But so the History Channel when I was a kid was the World War II channel. That was all they did.
As it should be.
What different version of events of World War II would we like to talk about today? That was all it was, and that was fine. Because it was like somewhat historical. We talk about Nazi super weapons or American super weapons or whatever. Or they do reenactments of battles or whatever. And it was fun because it was history. It was actual history. And now we've got shows like Ancient Aliens and Pawn Stars. And why is this called the History Channel? There's no history here.
Yeah, well, it's what did they say when they introduced the format change? It was like tomorrow's history today. It was something like that.
Yeah, with the claim that some stupid.
Yeah, it was something.
Meaningless
it was
drivel.
Right.
And here's another one of your insults for you, drivel. That's I'm gonna bring that back around.
Oh, balderdash. Yeah, there you go.
Right. Yeah, we could go right up there with Drek. Even it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
Feeling.
Bilge. I've used that one. Bilge. What about your bilge? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, see? So, yeah, Pawn Stars, I don't know what that is. You watched it a lot, and it was kind of interesting in the beginning, and then I just couldn't take whatever the bald guy's name is crap anymore.
Oh, Rick? Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't take him seriously anymore. I got nothing. He's got nothing for me.
It's the American Antiques Roadshow. That's what it is.
No, that's just Antiques Roadshow. You can just watch Antiques Roadshow and you get a much better program because the person appraising the item actually knows what they're talking about.
Hey, Rick's got a guy.
Right, that's the problem. He's always got a guy. Rick doesn't know anything.
Well, he knows a little bit about coins and stuff, I guess, things, but...
Well, good for him.
It did seem in later. I guess the show's still in production. I don't know. It might be.
Who knows?
And from what I understand, is the characters on the show are never in the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop unless they're filming. So you stop in a Gold and Silver to see Rick or Chum or whatever. Yeah,
they're not there. Yeah, they don't exist. They're select. They were originally. That was the whole idea, is that you could go to Vegas and go to the Gold and Silver Pawn and see Rick and Chum and whatever his other kid's name is. Not Chumley. Chumley's not his kid, but his Rick Jr.
Well, it's funny that the kid ends up becoming as grumpy as grandpa. That's great.
Yeah, 'cause he's gonna deal with his old man of a father. The old man and the kid were the only two people I could get behind. Because the kid at least took an interest in stuff. Corey. Yeah, he at least took an interest in stuff, and so did Chumley. Chumley was a little weird, but at least he had his area of expertise, which is mostly comics. And
you are
pop
Chumley
culture.
Because Chumley was into shoes and stuff. That's you.
Right. He was the pop culture guy. If someone brought in something more recent or comic book or TV related, they called Chumley because he knew about it.
Right. The old man's kind of a history buff. He's into like Civil War and stuff like that.
Yeah, Civil War and some guns and stuff like that. And a real Civil War buff.
Yeah.
But I just
wanted to be a showman,
Well, you could
tell
no
jokes
longer
by a Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, it's like, how do you get to the other side of Shiloh Ridge?
You had to be born there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That kind of stuff.
Tote that gun, lift that boot. Win the war in your Union suit.
That's right. Do we need to call the Lannisters, or are we gonna ride this one out?
Well, I was thinking about doing a USO show. A USO show that for the troops. Union side only. Yeah.
The South doesn't get to look at it.
No, they don't.
Okay.
Say, you're quite a Civil War buff. No. Okay. Let's.
I don't think we can use any of this as copyright material. We're gonna get a card and letter.
Are you kidding? Stan Freberg, what a genius of retelling history.
That was. It's funny thing is, there's more history in that than some of the stuff you learn in school.
Well, and if you don't know your history, you don't get half the jokes.
No, half the jokes mean nothing. If you haven't done anything with history, none of those jokes mean anything.
Yeah.
I've known several people that won't study recent history, and by recent history, I mean anything after
the day before yesterday.
Right. Well, some of them. No, because I have a friend.
Abraham Lincoln, wasn't he like an influencer on TikTok? Not quite.
Right. Isn't that the guy on the $5 bill? Yes, he did other things.
I got the two. Whatever.
Who's on? Isn't that Hamilton that's on the? Who's on the two?
Jefferson.
Is it Jefferson?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because obviously Washington's on the 1, Grant's on the 50, Franklin's on the 100. Which I don't know how Benjamin Franklin scored that deal.
He wasn't even ever a president.
On the $100 bill. No, he wasn't. He wasn't a president. He was a notable figure. Yes, but he wasn't really influential. He wasn't even a senator.
No, ambassador
of France. Kind of a guy. He was just kind of a guy. He was. I mean, I guess he was technically the U.S. colony's foreign dignitary.
And he was a delegate. He was. I do believe he was a delegate to the Constitutional Convention.
Right, well. But then he didn't. Once the Constitution was ratified and moved forward, we're getting past relevant.
Well, and Franklin and his popularity in France was influential in bringing the France in to help us during the Revolutionary War.
Popularity. That's what we're going to call it.
Well, I was trying to be nice, okay?
He was
notoriety,
very popular,
especially with the ladies.
Yes, and he was very popular in the U.S. with the ladies. He was quite the ladies' man, looking like he did.
Things are going well with the stove, and once a week I bring out the mag.
The mag? The magazine. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Livingston, Vice Mary. All right, knock that off. I just don't know how Franklin got the
people
100.
Just go listen to Stan Freberg's History of the United States of America. You'll get the jokes.
It's 2 parts. It's about 3 hours long. It's worth
worth it. Well worth it. No, there are no pictures, but well worth it.
It does not come with a lyric sheet. It's really, but it's really funny.
And you'll hear clips of it here on the show from time to time. Anyway, are you done with your horse?
I think I'm done with the horse. I think you worked me off the horse here.
Okay,
I just had to go on a thing with it. Just like the History Channel, just like I don't know, man. It's not quality programming anymore.
I gotta climb back up there myself.
Okay, well here I'll get off. You get on. I don't think we can tandem this horse. The horse is not going to do well. I know you got the collision waiver, but I don't think they cover 2 Bubba rating on the horse.
Well, okay. So I tried to put the St. Dennis thing to rest last week, as you may remember. I know it was just briefly discussed on the show.
Yeah, it was very short. We kind of glossed over it. It wasn't totally the first 20 minutes of the show or anything.
No, nothing like that. No. I can't let it go. I'm tried. Because the show was on yesterday.
Yes, TV shows are. They tend to be once
last
a week.
Yes.
It
was, so it's on today again. So to me, it's like yesterday because it just happened. But, in my world, the days get a little blurry.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
So we did the show, and then I watched the show. That's what happened, right? And I'm okay with it. I'm laughing. I'm going, yeah, it's St. Denny's. And then it's, all the characters are saying St. Dennis, right? And I'm thinking to myself, but in the closed captioning, they're spelling it DENNIS, as the characters say. And no, hey, stop it.
Well, they just got to rub it in that you're technically correct, but they're also technically correct.
Can you have 2 opposing views of the best kind of correct? Apparently you can.
As we stated earlier, as we stated on our New Year's episode, 2 things can be correct at the same time.
Yeah. It's just, okay, I would like...
and in your case, it just gets stuck in your craw.
It has, and it set off my OCD, and it set off my autism to great levels.
They're just slamming. See, this is your new favorite show because it just beats you up the entire time.
So
it just goes, hey, look at us, 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 look at us. Where you were wrong and you were right.
And they show
That's the whole show.
show the and they open and close segments with the showing them the logo on the wall and the house, and it's just rubbing it in. It's right. It is. Because what are the rules to the spelling? Okay, so if you were to take my objections to the spelling, to the pronunciation of that spelling, then names like Devin would be Devin, Kevin would be Kevin, So there is a time when the E on the first syllable has to be a short E, even though there is a consonant following the E, which should be making it a long sound. Making an E sound, not an S sound.
It's spaced out by another vowel.
So what are the rules? At what point do you use short E versus long E when you see names? As obviously Kevin is Kevin, and Devin is Devin, and
Dennis
whatever.
Is Dennis.
Right, but no, Dennis is. It should be, but then if you look at so should the. Okay, I have to put an under 18 warning, under 16 warning, whatever on this. So if you got little kids watching, cover their ears. Is the male member then a penis?
I mean, it is spelled that way. I've heard it pronounced that way.
It's a joke. If you're British, maybe I don't know. So this is all. But
if you're British, we don't listen to you anyway, because you say Jaguar instead of Jaguar, and aluminium, which is also wrong. You really want to lump yourself in with the British? I mean, come on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And then in the case of aluminium, they actually added an extra things in there that aren't in the spelling of aluminum.
Yes,
aluminium.
I found out recently.
They added letters.
They did that on purpose. They did it with aluminum, they did it with color, and they did it with something else. They added the U because that was the original way it was spelled, was the way we spell it, the way Americans say it and spell it, is the way it was originally done across both the colonies and the British. And when the Civil War happened, I guess it was a civil war for them. When the Revolutionary War happened and we won, they changed the spelling in Britain so that they could distance themselves from the heathens in the colonies.
And they also changed pronunciations so that to stick for the same reason against the French.
Yes. And
so if St. Dennis is French, that's no wonder why we have all this confusion. Because British, I'm blaming the British. They got involved. They messed it all up.
Well, that's just the British way. That's just how they work.
They should just keep their business in their own garage. Isn't that how they say it? Their garage. It's not a garage. It's a garage.
I don't care because they're wrong. I won't listen to anything they have to say. Because there's been linguistics. There's been linguistic studies done that says that the New England accent, what we think of as the New England accent, is actually closer to what the British accent would have been in the 1700s versus the
if
Cockney
you go back
that we think
versus
of now.
the Cockney that was changed and developed intentionally
To distance themselves from the New Englanders. So if you have a New England accent, you sound like a British person from the 1700s.
Yeah, go back and listen to a lot of the elocution on TV and radio, say 1940 and pre, right? Everyone, that was the standard elocution that you learned for broadcast.
Mm-hmm. Was the transatlantic? That kind of led to the transatlantic accent.
Danny Kaye even still had it in the 50s.
Yeah, the humanity guy that did the Hindenburg. That was the elocution you learned for radio. The humanity. It kind of gave you that affect to your voice because of the elocution.
It had that little bit of a British twang or New England twang to it, which is, as you were saying, that's correct. That's what, And it wasn't until us Midwesterners came along and flattened all that out. And now the Midwestern accent is the way of elocution that's being taught now.
Yeah, well, because we're
if you notice everybody in TV and movies and all that, unless they're trying to do an effect like a regional effect, they all sound Midwestern.
It's because Midwestern is kind of like the blending of a bunch of accents. Unless you go really far north and you end up in the Yooper territory, which is just Germans that haven't spoken German in a long time.
Yeah, up over to by Derry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or you get the Wisconsin.
Don't go too far into Chicago. Chicago, New York, Chicago. That's different.
The difference between a Chicago accent and the New York accent is where you put the emphasis on the vowels.
Well, that's right. And in New
York, it's all on the Y's and those vowels. And in Chicago, all the emphasis is on the A's.
Yeah, that's right. And
so
you'll never catch a Chicagoan, a real Chicagoan, not one of these Johnny Come Lately types.
Not somebody from Lombard.
Right.
I'm looking at you.
There is no there. It's not sausage.
Or Naperville.
There's no sauce. It's sausage. There's no sauce in sausage.
That's right. It's sausage. It's a hard
sausage.
A.
That's right. You want sausage on that? Yes, I do. Thank you.
Yeah. You don't put the emphasis on the U like a New Yorker. You put the emphasis on the A like a true Chicagoan. You bastard. You bastard man.
Heathens. Heathens.
I was gonna say heathens. It just didn't feel strong enough.
Okay.
I have opinions. I'm from the suburbs, but I have opinions because I'm from the suburbs, and I know people from the suburbs, and they all say they're from Chicago. And like, you're not from Chicago. It takes you an hour to get to Chicago from where you live. I know. I live next door to you.
Well, let's say take the "Are you from Chicago?" test. Does ketchup belong on a hot dog?
No.
That's correct. That would be the Chicago answer. No. Mm-hmm.
I actually have a lot of pride in that city.
I'm sorry. That's the end of my test right there.
That's literally the only test. What's the front room? What's the room that you walk into when you open your front door, but you're not really in the house yet?
That's the parlor. No, it's not the parlor.
No, it's the front room.
The foyer. Yes, it is. It's the
front room. Front room. Because you say it fast. Again. Say it fast. Say front room, but fast.
Yes, do it. Do it again. Do it for the listeners.
Front room. Front room.
Yeah.
It's like saying
sounds like
French room.
It almost sounds like you're saying French room, but you're not.
No, it's you're just putting the syllable emphasis on the different syllables.
Mm-hmm. And of course, what's your favorite sports team? It's the Bears.
The Bears. Well, if you're a true Chicagoan, it's the Bears. But I'm a bastard. Well, the bastard man.
If you're a true Chicagoan, it's the
Cardinals.
Bears, and it would be No, it's usually the Sox or the Cubs, right? Sox, Cubs.
Yeah, that's the defining line because the Bears is a given. It's what. And that comes.
And then if you're a North Sider, it's Cubs. You're from. Right, North Siders are Cubs, South Siders are Sox.
Yes,
right.
That's the dividing line because everybody else can. If you live there, all the other teams. You only have one team, but we have two baseball teams for some reason.
Because you need a North Side team and a South Side team, and then we get together later at Ed DeBevick's and fight it out. Who's the best?
Oh, I hate to tell you this. Ed DeBevick's is gone.
Yeah, I know. A lot of those are gone.
That was a Chicago institution, man.
Uh-huh.
This is gonna be the High Horse Chicago episode, is what this is. So this is for a very, very small subset of our audience, which is just us.
No, there's one guy in Russia.
Yes, one guy in Russia. Ah, yes, the Chicago man. That's the closest
you know what?
I'm coming to doing
the guys in Qatar or Qatar, in the CIA listening post, one of them might be a Chicagoan. We don't know.
Don't out them. We've had this discussion. No. You're not supposed to out them like that.
I'm not going to be bullied.
We do not negotiate with terrorists.
Or podcast hosts.
That's right. Well, to be fair, I wouldn't negotiate with podcast hosts either.
Right.
Have you seen us? Most of the podcast hosts I know don't know nothing.
So let's leave the city now and head to the country. Okay.
Oh. Now,
I don't usually look at Reddit. You're the Reddit person, right?
I am the Reddit person.
Did you see the thing on Reddit about, because people are moving out of cities for specific reasons, some specific cities because of some of the issues that are related to politics and leadership and things like that, and living in the city, and they're heading to other states and moving into the country, right? Wow. So somebody put up on Reddit, people who move from cities to small towns, what was the biggest culture shock? I'm going to let you have at some of this.
People don't always lock their front doors. Everyone's really friendly. Things are cheaper. Everything's really far away. Why isn't there a stoplight? Where are the stoplights? Where did all the deer come from? Why are the deer here? Am I getting anywhere near any of them? I think he died, folks. I think this is it. It's now just the Maestro.
How about now?
Oh, there you are. Oh, I guess he lives. All right, well.
Cough button malfunction is what happened.
There goes my inheritance.
Did you hear me cough?
I didn't hear you cough. I also didn't hear you talking either.
Well, that's good. At least the cough button worked for that, because I was hacking up a lung, man. Ugh.
So did you hear any of my options there?
Yeah. So here's the top responses, right, from people who are city dwellers that are now living in the country, and of course both of us now have lived both. We've both lived in both. Right. So
I've also lived in quasi country cities, which is just an whole other topic.
Right. So when you're in a restaurant or a bar, everyone turns to see who's come in. At first, it's off-putting, but then you realize they're just looking to see if it's somebody they know.
Yeah, they're just looking to say, oh, it's Bob. Norm.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Every bar, if you move to the country, every bar you go to is going to be like Cheers. They know everyone that walks in the front door, and you're the odd man out.
And that's how I would tweak this response. On it, I would turn this response upside down. They're looking to see if it's someone they don't know, if it's a stranger.
Yeah, they're just seeing. Oh, it's really just to see who comes through the door.
Yeah,
who's coming through the door?
And it is whether or not you know who they are. Are they from out of town? Because it all goes into the gossip fence, right?
Well, I wonder. And here's I'm gonna tack onto this as well. I wonder if they're looking at the door because you're there and you're not normal. So they're looking at the door to see if you've brought anyone with you, because everyone they know is already there.
Yeah, which comes out to one of my bullet points, which is coming up. But the next most popular, is after 5 p.m., it's effectively a ghost town. Nothing open but one 24-hour gas station. I'm like, wow, that hits home.
That's questionable. Yeah, even that's questionable because our gas station is not 24 hours. He is done at 8 o'clock.
No, but it is kind of 24 hours because if an emergency, you know the owner and you can call him up because he lives only a couple of blocks from you, and he'll come and open it for you if you have an emergency. But you don't want to burn that friendship if you don't have to.
That better be a real emergency. That better be your house is on, like your house, all your water's frozen and you need water or something.
Or you got to get gas because you got to get somebody somewhere to the thing, and it's like
right, or the power's out and you got to get gas for your generator, which you should have gotten to begin with. But hey, we all make mistakes.
So here's and everybody lives in a small town. It isn't even on the list. You always have extra stuff because you never know.
You never know,
and that's because you have to drive 30 miles for groceries, which is also a bullet point.
I'm friends with someone. He lives in Wyoming. But he lives out on the western edge of Wyoming, and his town is bigger than ours. Because we were kind of small towning off, whose town is more hick. And I was like, listen, I have to drive 30 miles to get to the closest stoplight. Yeah. Goes, okay, you're more rural than me. I'm like, we have one stop sign in town. One. And I know where, and it's on a specific street, and it's because people go blowing down that street, and they shouldn't.
Yeah. So And this next point is related to what you were saying about people coming into the bar or restaurant. The dating pool is ankle deep. Someone has to break up, and we all move over one.
Yeah, it's kind of like a musical chairs of dating, and you better be careful there because some of those family trees do not fork depending on where you are,
and some of them switch back.
Yeah, they kind of they're like bonsai trees. They kind of zigzag, but they don't branch out.
So yeah,
or it's two trees growing around each other. You know, it's just don't ask.
Nothing open. Nothing open past 7 p.m. or the weekends. Libraries only open till 4 p.m. during the week. I don't think our library was even open till 4. I think it was noon.
It's she takes breaks,
and
so she goes. She's open from 8 to noon, and 2 to 4, and only on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
There you
Tuesdays
go.
And Thursdays, and then on Wednesdays she's open from noon to 3.
But
so our library is open 5 days a week.
But the upside to that is when the library's open, you can also stop in and visit the Harness Museum.
Also true.
Mm-hmm. Our little hamlet here is so small. The post office only open till noon. So there you go.
And only on certain days.
The only store within walkable distance only sells liquor, snacks, and lottery tickets. So
it's the gas station.
So true. That's right. So true.
It's also the gas station. And that depends on what you consider a walkable distance.
Right.
Depending on how much of a walrus you are.
Well, I think, I could walrus my way over to the gas station there. And anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I could too.
Yeah, and so someone was saying the grocery store is a 45-minute drive. So if we went once a week at the most, and if you forgot something, you did without it. 4-wheel drive is a must.
Yeah. Or in this case, to modernize that post, or you just go to the Dollar General and get it because there's like 6 of them near you for no discernible reason. There's more Dollar Generals than there is population.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
And you gotta be careful with the Dollar General though. You'll see all your favorite brands, but they're in quantity. The quantities in the packages are not things that you're familiar, not numbers that you're familiar with. So a hot dog package that normally has 10 hot dogs has got 6,
9,
things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's odd numbers. It's everything is smaller unless the company will make it. So it's like, this is a hidden.
The prices are the same, if not a little higher.
Or they're less, or they're just a little lower. They're not a lot lower like you would think they were because the product is half the size. They're just a little lower.
It's just some.
But you think you're getting a deal.
They're playing some packaging sleight of hand.
Yes, definitely. Because like the packages are also just a little smaller. They're not way smaller because if they were way smaller, you'd notice. But they're just a little smaller, and the price is just a little lower. It's really weird. It's some weird Houdini price packaging stuff that they do to trick you into thinking you're getting a deal.
How about this one? Everyone, and this person says everyone, and I mean everyone, knows all of your business.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, at least for where we live. Yeah. And the only way they don't know your business is because you're either never there or you don't interact.
Yeah, which is, that's, partially why I'm the recluse that I am.
Yes, we know.
Another person says, I moved to a small town, and now I know my neighbor's cat better than I know my own family.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Life is quieter, but the gossip is way more entertaining.
Also true. Yeah, because the gossip isn't, did you hear that Fran bought 3 carrots instead of 4, and now she can't make it stew? No, the gossip is Fred fell down in the well again, and now they're trying to pull him out with a donkey and a block and tackle.
And meanwhile, his son's his son's on trial next week for trafficking.
Right. Or possession or something. It's just way the gossip is way wilder.
Right. Did you hear?
Because there's nothing to do.
Who was that? So and so that we found upside down in the cornfield this morning or yesterday morning? Right. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. More.
Oh yeah, that's just old Trim.
You'll love this one.
He got drunk last night.
You'll love this one. More meth than the Hallmark Channel would have you believe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Way more.
Way more.
You like meth? No, then don't move here.
Yeah, because everything's meth adjacent.
Okay, there's a reason that when they show in older movies, because like it's gotten sanitized a lot now for country living, because like people are doing it. But back in the olden days of the 80s, if you watched movies about people that lived in the country, they had like 12 kids.
Yes,
because a lot of them do. Because
Any other hobbies?
Because there's nothing else to do. So when meth got introduced, it was like, oh, this is something else to do.
Something
and we really
new.
like it. Right. We can do this instead of making kids.
And we can make some money on the side if we cook this stuff. Sure. Yeah.
Because, if we blow up, no one cares.
To your newcomers to the country, if you're driving along and you see like a chest freezer or a fridge on its side or whatever, laying in some trees or whatever, don't go over and say that's a shame.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch that because somebody's cooking something in there. So just leave it be.
Or they're storing something you want nothing to do with in there. Either way, if you see an appliance on the side of the road that looks intact and it's just kind of laying there, leave it alone.
Right. If you want to send a message, shoot it a couple. You shoot it a couple of times. Yeah.
It could be said. Depends. Are there bullet holes already in it? Yes. Then it's someone's shooting fridge. And you can shoot at it too. If there aren't any bullet holes in it, you probably don't want to shoot at it. It might explode.
Yeah, especially if the top is duct taped down. Yeah, sorry.
Thanks, Porky Pig.
Yeah, and that was in there. You were talking about all the kids. This is not judging, but the high percentage of young parents, first kid at 18, 15, whatever.
18? Wow, she got a late start.
Well, I think they're trying to be. Yeah. Unfortunately, you are correct, sir. You are correct, sir.
Sorry, folks. If that was a little dark for you, I apologize. It's just...
Or a little too on the nose, either way.
Yeah, either way, I am a little sorry for that because that came out way faster than I. Oh, it's just
nobody locks their doors or windows.
They don't lock anything. I mean, they start now because of the meth problem, but back in the day,
I don't understand that. I mean, it's true today too. Still, people are like, I don't understand. I got well, did you have your door locked? Well, no. I'm like, well, what? Hey, somebody stole my car. It's like, well, maybe you should stop leaving the keys in it. Oh, we're out in the country. I'm like, exactly. Lock it up, nail it down, because you're out in the country because there's more meth here than the Hallmark Channel. Yeah.
This isn't the 50s. This isn't the 50s where you can leave everything unlocked and no one's going to bother it because everybody trusts everybody and everybody just kind of minds their own business.
It's like when my cousins come to visit. We're out here, okay? It's okay to kind of just leave my truck unlocked. I'm like, only if you want everything in it to be gone in the morning.
And possibly also the truck.
Yeah. It's like, really? It's like, yeah. It's like, we keep everything locked.
Your exhaust is.
Everything's locked, nailed down, battened down. If it's, locked. Heck, I have, we have security systems. We have redundant security systems. In my case, it's like, because if it's going to, otherwise it's going to walk.
Some would say it's your paranoia. Some would say that paranoia is justified.
It is justified. Remember that we had the one PT Cruiser, and that somebody tried stealing it because they tried to get it. It was down on the lift safeties. They were trying to get it all the way on the ground and drive it out, but they couldn't get it done on the one building.
Tire.
Yeah. Well, so they.
I don't know what they were going for there.
I don't know. For their troubles, they end up stealing the new set of lug nuts I had for the car sitting there. What else? It was just some small little thing.
We were putting the new lug nuts on, and I was putting the headlights in it and stuff, and I left it up on the lift with the tire off because I was like, I'll get back to it later. Like, it's not going anywhere.
I was going to decide I was going to do brakes. Yeah, an oil change,
doing the brakes, doing an oil change, just some minor maintenance to kind of get it roadworthy. And I left it up on the lift. I had like one caliper was off of it because I was going to finish putting the pads on it and bleed it. And their tire was off, and I had it up higher than it was. And then I came out, and the tire had been moved. The lug nuts were missing. The lift was lower. I'm like, what happened here?
Right.
Came to find out that I had her door unlocked because I wasn't as familiar with all the protocols.
Yeah. Yeah.
But thankfully, none of the tools went missing.
Yeah, that's what surprised me. They took some consolation prizes.
Yeah, lug nuts, which great. Now you can throw them at people, I guess.
How much?
I don't know.
What is the meth to lug nut conversion rate exactly?
It's not high enough. They're not made of copper, so they're not worth anything. Is there any more of those? Shocking. Yeah. No, hit me.
Your reputation actually matters. If you anger the wrong person, you can find yourself frozen out of a lot of social events and financial opportunities.
100% correct.
Yes.
It's not in a small town. It's not what you know. It's who you know, and what kind of terms
and what they think of you. They may know you, but if they don't like you,
You're not getting nothing.
So it's kind of important then that you either stick to completely to yourself and be self-sufficient, or pitch in and help out some of the movers.
Yeah, you better be buddy with everybody. It's one or the other. You either need to be completely self-sufficient and not care what others think of you, or you need to make a lot of friends really quickly.
Yeah. Yep.
So, what else you got?
Well, only one grocery store and extremely limited dining options. The gas station getting a Subway felt like the biggest news in the world.
Yeah, the gas station getting a Subway would be a big deal.
Yeah. Everyone is armed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just a good assumption. And not always legally, so, keep that in mind.
So
because they look like a meth head does not mean they don't have the pew-pews.
Yeah, although the meth heads, most of them aren't armed. It's the meth traffickers that you got to watch out for.
Well, it's the deal.
Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference.
Anyway.
Yeah. So that was it. That's the top.
Well, is it?
Yeah, those are the top ones from that Reddit. Yeah.
All I can think of is that movie where the guy goes, "Disappointed."
Yeah. That's what, Fifth Element or something like that. Right?
Yeah, it's been in a bunch of stuff. So
this one was Bruce Willis is in that one, I think.
No, that's Fifth Element. I don't think that's Fifth Element. I think that's a different movie.
No, I think it is.
No, you're thinking of the where he goes, "Everyone." That's what you're thinking of from the Fifth Element.
No, I'll tell you what. I'll do some research. Give me a minute, and then I'll just drop it in right. Yeah. I'll drop it in right here.
I am very disappointed.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, before we go, I had to talk about. I had to relate. Did you see this? Well, TV spot. It was a TV, not a spot on local TV, California. They're out there, on the California. I was trying to look around, trying to get a feel for what's going on in California or what had been going on.
It's fire.
With the fires.
A lot of fire.
Yeah, a lot of fire. And of course, you got your national media and they're doing their thing, but I wanted local media, right? Because I don't know, the local media gives you a little more local flavor. Yeah, they're in it. That they're all wearing the same coat.
What is it, not the sisterhood of the traveling coat.
Well, I don't know if it's the same coat, but they all looks the same, and it isn't, and it's different than what the firemen are wearing. It's a little more yellow, a little newer. There must be an official media turnout coat for reporters on scene. Yeah. So, because every reporter reporting on scene is wearing the same kind of turnout coat, and it's different than the firefighter turnout coat. That's not what really struck me. That's kind of a sideline, but it's interesting. You're getting it. This is a local female TV person, and honestly, I think she was wearing the standard media turnout coat, and she's standing in kind of the edge of a road overlooking a hill. It's at night, and she was doing an animal interest story, right? Which is, okay. And she's talking about how animals are being displaced by the fires, and some dogs.
Yeah, fire tends to do that.
So
that's yet to be determined.
She's out there. She's up there. She's got herself posed like by a woodland kind of area beside the road that's been on fire, and she's motioning, and she's talking about the displaced animals and how some pets have returned to the site of their home site to be reunited with their owners when the owner comes back to look at the house. What's left of the house, which is like we talked about earlier, which is just a slab and a fireplace, and if they had if they were spendy, it had a stone wall around it, with a little arch gate, whatever. And so she's doing her thing. It's okay. I mean, I'm watching it, and a cougar, a mountain lion, just comes walking in from camera left, walks right in front of her, and just keeps going into the burned out woodland area, kind of walking the curb. And the cougar was the mountain. Yeah, exactly. The mountain lion was totally, sup.
That's right. Mountain lion. But meanwhile, the reporter's trying not to have a heart attack, and there's just a cougar. There's just a mountain lion just traveling through.
No, it's better. It's better. The mountain lion's just doing his mountain lion thing, looking like, hey, you haven't seen any standing trees where a cool cat can take a load off and kind of, chill for a while.
Which way is the fire? I need to get away from. Which way is the fire again?
Yeah. No, the cougar didn't even do that. The cougar just walks by. The mountain lion just walks by. Looks, what's up? It just keeps going. And she's kudos to the cameraman, mountain lion. The guy's got the shot.
Right.
What?
Cameraman was professional.
The best one. Right, he's a professional. No, none of this shaky camera. Oh no, the thing's about to happen, and then you're looking at the ground because nothing like that. This guy's got the shot, and she's talking about the pets trying to find a home and whatever, and displaced and all that. And she says, kind of like this dog here.
No.
Yes.
No. Well, it's very clearly a mountain lion just hanging out.
I mean, the mountain lion just like it looked like a really, 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 really big house cat. I mean, the way it was walking, and you know.
They are. Right. They're one of the only cat species that purr.
Yeah.
Large cat species.
Large cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just totally
they purr
nonchalant.
Like house cats.
What's up? What's up?
Oh, hey, you're here. Hey, cool.
Yeah.
Keeps going.
Yeah. I'm going over here. Looking for. Yeah. No,
for a snack.
I had. Thank goodness. I love the DVR because thank goodness I had to go back and what was that? Like this dog here.
Right. Dog. Right. Because it doesn't totally have a cat's head and a long skinny tail and looks nothing like a dog. Walks nothing like a dog.
And then I started
It's crazy. It's even crazier because like a dog would have just walked up to her and like, hey, how's it going? What you doing? Hey, hi.
Right. Especially after a fire.
The mountain lion did. Yeah. You got any water? She's great if you had some water. Also some sausages. Sausages would be awesome, but definitely the water.
Where's your car?
Meanwhile, hey, where's your car? I'd like to get in your car now. We can go for a ride. But the mountain lion did exactly what every house cat that situation would have done. It interrupted the shot and then just kept going.
Yeah, photobombed, and then
photobombed. Checked out the situation, decided there was nothing interesting, and just kept going.
Right. It assessed her to see if there was anything of interest or value. Nah. And kept going.
It's not worth it. Like this dog here. Yeah,
like this dog. Well, then I started feeling sorry for her. I figured she was a younger one, and probably only done a certain number of field reports and was very...
I still feel like you should be able to tell the difference between a dog, which even then, mountain lion is still bigger than most dogs.
I'm looking at her. Okay, so I looked at her carefully as she's looking, because I backed it up, and I did slow motion because I got nothing better to do.
Well, clearly.
And her gaze never breaks from the camera, right?
Oh, so she just saw something tan move by at the bottom of her vision.
That's right. So she's like,
she's gonna watch that later and be like, "That was a mountain lion."
Exactly. Well, her whole family's probably watching because she's like, I'm doing my live remote because she's probably fresh out of J school,
Right? Did the Chiron come up? Cougars on the prowl? Because come on.
No, they didn't get the live PD Chiron guy was obviously not working at that station.
That's the perfect Chiron moment. I mean, that guy had a golden opportunity and wasted it.
Oh goodness.
That would have made that whole situation better if the Chiron comes up, says Cougars on the prowl. Boom.
Oh, you're killing me.
Like this dog here.
Like this dog here.
She's got a golden retriever. Meanwhile, the mountain lion's looking for a golden retriever.
I guess that's enough of that. I also noticed. You ever notice things that we talk about are coming round. Okay. And
coming around the mountain?
They are, especially apparently on X, because
Elon
posted up this.
Are you saying we have some kind of relevancy? Because if that's the case, we got to stop.
We got to stop because we're not trying to be relevant here. I mean, we get close to relevant, but then back away slowly.
We lay down the meat and back away slowly from the mountain lion.
That's correct. Nice kitty.
That's a good kitty.
You remember our New Year's era, the holidays that we talked about a certain Winkler film about a hypersonic transport kind of
traversing the
space.
Traversing the hose.
Right. Traversing the hose with Robert Reed at the helm.
Right. I remember.
And so Elon on X is talking about his new hypersonic transport, and it's got all these times on there, so much from here to there, and so many hours and minutes and here. I had to tweet.
So wait,
what?
That means that if Elon Musk puts out the hypersonic plane, he would also be the billionaire that pushes that plane into orbit with his own rocket. He would do it to himself.
Yes, he pushes it into orbit by launching Starlink, and when he probably shouldn't have been, and then that messes with the plane. Yeah, right, exactly.
But it's his plane.
It's death. It's SST Death Flight come to life, come to reality.
No, it wasn't Death Flight. It was a different.
It was a different. I got all confused on my movies.
Death Flight was the one with the sickness.
I know, the one with the sickness, and I can't find that one anymore.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah, it is. Anyway. It's just shows you how entertaining it can be to get a little older and have your memory kind of,
I was gonna how entertaining it is to have an adult mind at this point.
It's great fun.
Anyway, fun for you.
No, it's fun for
every day is a new day.
So I tweeted to Elon and I said, I just happened to catch the post and I said, now that sounds great. Now just make sure you watch SST Death Flight to make sure you avoid the pitfalls of hypersonic transport.
Yeah.
Because, maybe, maybe he'll learn, maybe he'll have a charcuterie on board. An onboard,
that's right.
onboard charcuterie board.
Keep Robert Reed happy. That way he's not ordering snacks while people are stuck in space.
Right. You need to have emergency oxygen and an emergency charcuterie.
Or competent pilots. Either way.
And better writers.
Definitely better writers. Yeah. Don't let Henry Winkler on it or anywhere near. Don't even let him look at it.
No. Winkler doesn't get to look at it.
I don't think we'll have to worry about that. He's still trying to pay off his reverse mortgage.
All right. On that note, I think we got to go. I think listeners have had enough.
I certainly have.
Okay. All right. That's good.
I did find out. You can use Pepper. I now have Pepper Box on my Roku TV.
Yeah, there you go. I have it on my.